WUB Network, America's sports leader, is proud to present the third annual Pillsbury Thanksgiving Classic. 2 years ago, the Warriors and the Thunder faced off in this game. Kevin Durant's return to Oklahoma City. It was the first ever broadcasted game here on WUB Network, and the Thunder fell to the Warriors in a late shot by KD. Then last season, the Timberwolves took on the Philadelphia 76ers in this game, with Jimmy Butler's 52 points propelling the Timberwolves to victory. And then tonight, the Sixers make their second appearance in the event, the Celtics their first. This is the second meeting between these teams this season. First one was a hard-fought game. 114-109 was the final. But this was an interesting game. 38 points, 28 rebounds, 10 assists, 8 blocks from Joel Embiid. Ben Simmons had a big game as well, as did Markelle Fultz. Really, that was what carried the Sixers team because the Celtics were pretty solid. Kyrie with 20 and 12. Robert Williams, 9 points, 20 boards. Kyrie, Jason Tatum led the way in scoring. I mean, it was a hard-fought game, and we can expect more of the same here. And these teams don't face off again for a long while. If you look, for example, at this Celtics schedule, it's a long time till you see 76ers again. January 12th, they host them. And March 5th. This is the final time the Celtics go to Philly this season. Very interesting to see. Celtics are 3-2 so far. The Sixers are 3-0. Let's also just take a look at early on in the season, a look at this conference standings. In the East, a great start for the Wizards. They're 4-1, 3-0 for the Sixers, and everybody else has at least 2 losses. Pacers, Celtics, Bucks, Cavs, Raptors, Hawks so far hold the other spots. Also just wanted to say, we got MLB videos tomorrow, NASCAR video coming this weekend as well, and the Daytona 500 for the NPCS is set Sunday, December 9th, so 2 weeks from Sunday will be when the Daytona 500 is released, and then I'm moving right into Atlanta, which will not take as long. Be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. We're only about 10 subs away from 600, which is pretty cool. As you scroll through the rest of the way, that's how the East is faring so far. In the West, Utah and San Antonio are unbeaten. Golden State has not had a good start. They're 2-2. 3-2, you see Dallas up there. Rockets are 4-1. Lakers and LeBron are only 2-3. Minnesota not doing great. Sonics the only winless team out there. Orlando the only other winless team in the sport. So, we're about ready to go here. 3-2 Celtics, 3-0 76ers about to get going in the Pillsbury Thanksgiving Classic. Now, obviously, these teams wear some special unis for this event. Celtics will wear these gray unis. The home team always wears a throwback. And what better throwback than a Syracuse Nationals throwback for these Philadelphia 76ers, a throwback to the early days of the NBA. And you know what? The Celtics will wear those old uniforms too. A throwback going 1946 style. And in that case, Joel Embiid's got to play like Wilt Chamberlain in this one. It's time for the pregame show. Let's send it to Ernie Johnson, Kenny Smith, and Shaq.
Away at Wells Fargo Center, it'll be the Philadelphia 76ers going up against the Boston Celtics. Well, for Boston, they lost game 1 in this matchup earlier this season. They'll see them 4 times in all, looking to even the series with a win tonight. And tonight, 2 top-tier centers going toe-to-toe. Obviously, the center position has become more multi-dimensional than ever. Shaq, give us your thoughts on how your position has evolved.
Well, the new defensive rules make it harder to post up. Versatility has never been more important for centers. Starting to play small ball, you need to get a little more versatile and show them that, hey, Hakeem is not gone.
Do you think you could survive in the league in this day and age?
Oh, yes. Oh, wow, what a question. Yes, I can't believe you even asked you that.
I can't believe he answered it. Yeah, you could be a great sixth man.
Oh,
Whoa!
okay, you can say. Shaq don't do bench.
Okay. Defensively, centers just got the guard, and Shaq could guard.
Well, they hit on it. It's a big matchup of the centers and trying to hold down Joel Embiid, who the last time these two teams played nearly got a quadruple double. As for the Celtics, they've got Big Al Horford in his second season with their big three with Kyrie Irving and Gordon Hayward. Seeing Markelle Fultz rocking those old unis are one of the coolest things. We are live from the Wells Fargo Center for the third annual Pillsbury Thanksgiving Classic right here on WUB Network, America's sports leader, an NBA Black Friday tradition. The only game in the NBA this season tonight, and it's a dandy, as the Celtics take on the Philadelphia 76ers. As we said the last time these teams met, Celtics and the Sixers went toe-to-toe. Joel Embiid was on his game. The Sixers won that one 114-109. That was actually a typo on the screen because the Sixers are undefeated right now.
But his coaching philosophy stayed constant during that time. He said, who's playing hard? There's a certain type that we're trying to grow in a city like Philadelphia. We've got to find people who can gain respect by competing. Kevin?
All right, so definitely a young team for the Sixers. The Celtics going with Irving, Tatum, Hayward, Robert Williams, and Horford. And there's your key matchup, Horford versus Joel Embiid. It's Embiid, Simmons, Redick, Fultz, and Robert Covington, the five for Philadelphia. It'll be Horford and Embiid squaring up for the first time for this tip-off. Celtics in their 1946 throwbacks, Sixers in their Syracuse Nats uniforms, and the Pillsbury Thanksgiving Classic is underway as the tip goes Ben Simmons' way. Here's Ben Simmons with it. Finds on the right side. That's Robert Covington, guarded tightly by Hayward. Fultz gets room in the corner. The three, no good. Off the left side of the basket. Grabbed by Hayward. And here comes Kyrie Irving into the deep right corner. Back to the right wing, Hayward. Gordon Hayward strokes the three-pointer. Kyrie with his first assist. Remember, he had 13 against Philadelphia last week. Here's Fultz inside Ben Simmons. Simmons guarded by Robert Williams. Back to Fultz. Fultz over to Simmons. Just 7 to shoot. Philly looking a little slow so far, but Simmons with a great move to the basket. Can't finish though, but he draws the foul on Williams, who had 20 rebounds last time these teams faced off. And that'll send Ben Simmons to the line. There's Brett Brown in his 6th season as head coach in Philadelphia. 6th season as well for the Celtics' Brad Stevens. Averaging a double-double so far is Ben Simmons this season. 13 points, 10 rebounds, and a bad miss on the first free throw. And that one rattles home as well. This is a very interesting game because if the Sixers win, they're 4-0 and the Celtics are stuck at 500. If the Celtics win, they are 4-2. Sixers are 3-1, so they'll be tied atop the Atlantic Division. As that's a miss right there. Here comes Covington to the basket, lays it up, no good. I don't know where Embiid was there. Horford grabs the rebound. Here comes Jason Tatum. Celtics leading scorer the last time these teams faced off. Tipped pass, Hayward in a lucky spot to grab it. Here's Kyrie Irving with it. Finds Robert Williams on the left side. Celtics lost by 1 last night to the Pacers. 14 points, 10 assists for Irving as Horford jumps from just in front of the free throw line. Can't hit. Redick finds Covington. A little bit of a mismatch. Embiid there with Hayward on him. He feeds Markelle Fultz. Fultz with it, guarded by Tatum. 5 to shoot. Markelle back to the Sixers logo. He's going to drive now. Spins on Tatum. Not going to hit. Tipped in the air. It's going to go out to Irving, who fires ahead Jason Tatum. And the Celtics set. 3-1 the score. 2 minutes in. Tatum short from the low block. Embiid corrals the miss. That's his first rebound of the game. Here's Robert Covington. Here's that Redick now on the left wing. The only real veteran in the Sixers lineup. Bounce pass inside Simmons. Hook shot. Rattles home over Horford. First field goal for the Sixers, and they tie the game up at 3 apiece. Here comes Kyrie Irving with it for Boston. Markelle Fultz draped over him. Al Horford down with Embiid on him. Embiid bringing the defense. Tatum inside. 3 Sixers around him. That's not going to faze him, though. Jason Tatum puts it in and gives the Celtics the lead back. Here's Ben Simmons. Embiid sets a screen. Now Embiid gets the ball back. Joel on the low block. Guarded by Horford. Feeds Covington. Markelle Fultz comes over on the right wing. Back to Embiid. 7 to shoot now. JJ Redick in the deep right corner. 4 to shoot. Stolen by Tatum. And here come the Celtics rushing up the floor. Tatum versus Embiid. Embiid fouls Tatum on the shot. And the second-year man, Duke, will shoot free throws. Jason Tatum might be one of the best out of the 2017 draft class. In the starting lineup for this team, really turned out to be one of the best players out of that draft. As he heads to the line here. First free throw drops for Tatum. It's 6-3 now. 8:57 to go in the first quarter. Both free throws are splashes for number 0, and the Celtics lead by 4. Sixers in red and gold, Celtics in white, both in throwback uniforms since it's the Pillsbury Thanksgiving Classic. Embiid, guarded by Horford, makes a nice crossover on Horford and lays it in on the drive. Embiid was doing a lot of that when these teams played, and it was that 38-point, 28-rebound performance for Embiid. He was doing a lot of that drive ball movement and driving on Horford and Aaron Baines, and he did it right there. Horford now kicks Hayward. Gordon Hayward misses. Robert Williams bats it out to Fultz, and here come the Sixers trying to tie it. That's Covington for the lead on the right wing. It's a splash, and the Sixers lead 8-7. Sixers last game, they were victorious at the Pistons. Only shot 39%, but hit 12 3-pointers along the way. Joel Embiid earned the first Player of the Week honors, by the way. He and James Harden. Harden, who averaged 44 points a game through the first 3 games of the season. That wasn't a surprise. But they gave it to Embiid over Giannis Antetokounmpo here. As Tatum, the contested jumper on the deep left side, he hits. And it's 9-8 Boston. 7:40 to go in the first quarter. Ben Simmons with it in the corner. Over to Embiid. Back to Simmons. Simmons drives. What a slam by Ben Simmons, going strong to the basket. Ben Simmons soars to the basket, and the Sixers lead 10-9. Just about 5 minutes in here in the Pillsbury Thanksgiving Classic. Irving over the Williams. Here's Gordon Hayward on the left side. Hayward's going to drive. Embiid on him. Puts it up and in with a nice finish at the basket. Gordon Hayward's got 5 points, the former Utah Jazz player. Fultz over to Ben Simmons, who's been hot in the early going. Fultz trying to work inside, a double team that's not really going to work. Covington gets free. Hayward's going to come over and guard him. Inside Simmons. Simmons from the low block. No good. Rebound Williams. Here comes Kyrie Irving taking it across the timeline for Boston. He's going to step right into a 3. A little bit of a rush. Can't get it to go. Embiid grabs the rebound. Forces it away from Horford. Finds Fultz, and here comes Philadelphia. Joel Embiid over to JJ Redick on the right side. Redick inside Simmons. Simmons working in on Hayward. Hook shot. Short. Gordon Hayward, Ben Simmons, the 2 small forwards carrying their teams in the early going so far. Kyrie Irving with Markelle Fultz guarding him. Celtics, you see only 61% from the free throw line in Wednesday's loss. That's something they can't replicate here. As a finish for the Boston Celtics, they lead 13-10, 6:05 to go here in the first quarter, halfway through quarter number 1 in the third annual Pillsbury Thanksgiving Classic. They were considering giving Minnesota their third straight home game in the Classic because there were 2 games in the first season. Cleveland played Minnesota as well. As that's a finish, it's 13-12. Since they've only done one, and this is the one they chose for this season, and definitely a good game, especially after what happened when these teams faced off earlier in the season. If that pass on the attempted alley-oop goes out of bounds. See, the Celtics have taken a decent amount of threes early on. No changes for either side in the stoppage. 5:40 to go in the first quarter. It's Boston 13, Philadelphia 12. Redick tries to set a screen. Fultz goes through a bunch of defenders. He's got Embiid open behind him. Fultz going to try to put it up himself, but he misses. And it's stripped. Embiid gets it back on the steal. Now Embiid playing catch with Covington. He can't finish. Horford gets the rebound. Here comes Gordon Hayward. Driving to the basket. Shot. Almost altered, but he can't hit anyway. Here comes Ben Simmons over to Markelle Fultz. Fultz is going to drive inside. Embiid's open at the three-point line. Now Embiid's going to trickle himself inside. Fultz over to Ben Simmons. Back to Markelle Fultz. 8 to shoot. Fultz to Covington. Inside Simmons. Simmons at the basket. Can't finish. Takes a hard fall. Upset there was no foul there. Here comes Boston. Low-scoring game so far. If you'd also remember, Boston went 1 for 14 to open that game between them and the Sixers, and only made 4 shots in the first quarter in that game, and came back to only lose by 5, which is pretty impressive. Embiid grabs the rebound on the miss. Here comes Redick. Embiid's been held to just 2 points so far. Hasn't really had many good shot opportunities, and they haven't challenged Al Horford that much yet. Markelle Fultz struggling with Kyrie on him, and a bad pass. It goes right into the hands of Horford. Hayward ahead to Tatum. 4 minutes to go here in the first quarter. A very fast-moving opening quarter of play here. Jason Tatum working inside at the elbow. Redick on him. 7 to shoot. Out to Hayward in the corner. Robert Covington on him. 3 to shoot. Hayward's got Embiid all over him. Wow, he gets a lucky bounce there, and it goes down. Timeout called by Brett Brown. 3:44 to go in the first quarter. It's the Celtics 15, Sixers 12 here on WUB Network, America's sports leader.
Timeout here. And Clark, some great players who can score no matter the situation. With that in mind, who do you think are some of the best finishers right now in a congested lane?
So some changes. It's pretty much new groups for both sides. First for the Celtics, Terry Rozier out there with Marcus Smart. It's Jaylen Brown, Marcus Morris, and Aaron Baines. Foul, and able to finish is Wilson Chandler and one. And he'll head to the line to try to tie the game. Morris with the foul. Now let's just check and make sure it's Marcus and I'm not being stupid. Yep, it's Marcus Morris. His brother Markieff also in the NBA. It's Saric, McConnell, Willie Reed, Wilson Chandler, and a 5th player that we need to check on. Anyway, here's Morris. Baines tries to set a screen. Morris is going to drive, loses the ball, stolen by Reed. McConnell over there's the 5th player. Here's Smith. Can't finish. Smith misses there at the basket. Here comes Kyrie Irving. Pardon me, Marcus Smart. Terry Rozier in the corner. That's a 3. Not going to go. Willie Reed grabs the rebound. McConnell to Smith. Here comes Smith along the side. Smith to the basket. Throws it down. What a slam. What a dunk by Zaire Smith, the rookie. Bam. What a slam by Zaire Smith. A quick 5-0 run out of the timeout for the Sixers, and they lead 17-50 with straight on 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. Remember, if you're here, be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. We're getting close to 600 subs. Hoping to get to that soon. Here's Terry Rozier. Morris now with it on the left wing. Morris goes around a screen, shoots right at the free throw line, can't hit. Willie Reed the rebound. To the floor goes Zaire Smith. Here comes TJ McConnell with it. McConnell trying to go around the screen from Sarge, gets some room, or just in front of the free throw line. No, Willie Reed fouled hard by Jaylen Brown. And to the line, here comes Willie Reed.
Yeah, if you're going to foul, then make sure that you don't give a chance for the and one.
Reed averaging 5 points, 3 rebounds per game this season. First one drops. Sixers now lead 19-15 and have scored 7 unanswered out of the timeout.
Really well tonight, too. I mean, a decent number of assists so far.
Second free throw, no. Chandler the rebound, and now he's going to be fouled by Aaron Baines. Baines can't believe the call. And now Chandler will go back to the line. Celtics really getting screwed by the fouls right now. And here's Wilson Chandler, the stripe. First one rattles home to make it 20-15.
Thinking about the Celtics' choice to get younger, perhaps a strategic move in response to the super team.
Second one also falls, so make it a 6-point lead for Philadelphia. 2:24 to go here in quarter number 1.
Start to show a little chink in the armor moving forward.
Morris sets a screen. Here's Jaylen Brown in the corner. Nails the three-pointer. And the Celtics back within a possession. Jaylen Brown with his first bucket of the game, the third-year man. It's 21-18. Here's Zaire Smith. Finds Willie Reed. Reed over to Wilson Chandler. Chandler inside. Reed. That's going to be Celtics ball. Willie Reed just shot that in through the bottom of the basket. That was a new call. That was an interesting one. Anyway, here comes the Celtics and Marcus Smart, who was a starter at the beginning of the season. But 2 of the first 3 games, his field goal percentage for the game was 15% or worse. And they moved him to the bench for Tatum. As Smart finds Morris inside for the basket. And it's a 1-point game now, with 1:40 to go here in the first quarter, in the 3rd annual Pillsbury Thanksgiving Classic. Overall, this is the 4th game of the Pillsbury Thanksgiving Classic, as that's going to fall from long range for Wilson Chandler, who's red hot in this one. He's got 8 points off the bench. 24-20 Philadelphia.
Defense there, I mean, I think he's definitely got to play up on
Driving.
off the screen in that situation.
Home teams are 2-1 in the Pillsbury Thanksgiving Classic. The lone exception, the Warriors won in Oklahoma City that time. As here comes the other way on the charge, Wilson Chandler. Chandler steps back. The J, no good. Willie Reed the rebound. And he puts it in. The Sixers lead by 6, 26-20. And then the Timberwolves won both their home games. One over the Cavs, one over these Philadelphia 76ers, as Jaylen Brown drops his... Actually, no, they're going to say that was a 2-foot on the line. It's a 4-point game now. 40 seconds to go in the first quarter. Here's Wilson Chandler with it. Chandler over to Willie Reed. Back behind the back, Chandler. Zaire Smith comes over on the wing. Reed back to Wilson Chandler. 5 to shoot. Backing in on Jaylen Brown. Chandler puts it up. Not going to go. Rebound Jaylen Brown. Shot clock is off. Celtics can hold for a final shot if they'd like, and it looks like that's the plan. Rozier over to Marcus Smart, and he might just let this dribble down, and that's what's going to happen. 10 seconds. Celtics got to move here. 5 seconds. Is Marcus Smart going to move at all? Finds Rozier. Rozier a 3. No, and that's going to end the first quarter. Back and forth after 1 quarter in the Pillsbury Thanksgiving Classic. It's Philadelphia 26, Boston 22. We'll be back on WUB Network, America's sports leader. Let's see what J.J. Redick has to say in our player spotlight.
And as a lightning rod for fans.
I think I'll forever be associated with Duke and Duke basketball. And obviously that's a polarizing topic for some people. They like me, some people don't like me. But I take a lot of pride in the fact that I went to school there, I got to play there, and I graduated
He's also one of the few four-year players out of Duke, as the years have come where basically it's 1 year and you're here. Getting ready for the big Zion Williamson sweepstakes and R.J. Barrett both coming as freshmen from Duke next season. And 99.9% sure they'll be in the draft. Jaylen Brown's been hot, but he can't hit there. Sarge the rebound. Same five for both teams that ended the first quarter. Chandler, McConnell, Zaire Smith, Reed, and Sarge for the Sixers. Rozier, Morris, Smart, Baines, and Jaylen Brown for Boston. Here's Zaire Smith, 5 to shoot. Smith, trying to dribble around, puts it up, not going to go. Rebound, Rozier. That's the one thing that scares me with this Sixers team, that they might not have to make a move because this bench is not deep. This is a very youthful bench aside from Wilson Chandler, whereas the Celtics have a pretty talented bench when you think about Smart, Morris, who was a starter on this team last season, Aaron Baines, young guy like Jaylen Brown, Terry Rozier, as here comes Zaire Smith to the basket, makes a couple men miss, and finishes with the lucky bounce. And Philadelphia's up 28-22 now. Aaron Baines with it. Back to Marcus Smart. Smart, Zaire Smith makes him lose it. Baines grabs it. Here's Rozier now, 7 to shoot. Celtics like running this clock down. They've done it a lot in this game. Baines sets a screen. Rozier a 3. No good. Rebound Zaire Smith. Here he comes across the half-court line. It's been over 2 minutes since the last time Boston got in the scoring column. Wilson Chandler in the corner, guarded by Jaylen Brown. Stolen by Brown, and here comes Boston the other way. Jaylen Brown leading the charge. Makes the sidestep, and gets the lucky roll. Jaylen Brown's been strong so far. The Celtics on off turnovers have been good. They've got 8 points compared to Philadelphia, just getting a pair. As the Celtics are within 4 now with 9:52 to go before halftime. An opening, a shot for Smith, no good. He's taken a lot of them so far. Rebound Jaylen Brown. Here comes Smart. Marcus Smart. He's been chucking up a lot of bad shots this season. Now looking more towards his teammates. He finds one in Rozier on the right side, but Zaire Smith all over him. Here's Jaylen Brown. 5 to shoot. Morris gets room off the pick. He can't hit, though, off the back iron. Rebound Dario Sarge. McConnell fires ahead. Zaire Smith. And now he's going to lose it. No, he gets it back. McConnell now gets it on the left wing. Rozier brings the defense. Reed sets a screen. Down to the left side, and Reed loses it along the baseline. Out of bounds. Off the cameraman, and it'll be Boston ball. You look how TJ McConnell was last season, even playing off the bench. He was pretty strong in the NBA. Top 15 in both steals and assists. Here's Terry Rozier. Morris sets the screen. Rozier over to Brown. Jaylen Brown from 3. Another 3 from Jaylen Brown, and the Celtics are within 1. 28-27, 8:52 to go in the second quarter. Here's Zaire Smith with it. Over to Wilson Chandler. Chandler drives in. Jaylen Brown on him. Inside, Reed over Baines. No, Reed wasn't even facing the basket when he grabbed it. Third time's the charm for Dario Saric as he puts it in. Sixers lead 30-27, 8:29 to go before the break. Here's Marcus Morris. Over to Marcus Smart. In the corner, Jaylen Brown. Another 3 for Brown, and the Celtics tie it. Jaylen Brown's been firing on all cylinders off the bench. Let's just take a look at his statistics so far. 13 points, 3 of 3 from long range, 5 of 6 from the field for Jaylen Brown. Here's Zaire Smith. Over to Willie Reed. Reed's got Baines on him. A height mismatch, but agility-wise, Baines easily has him covered. McConnell over to Saric. Saric from 3. Gets the lucky bounce, and Saric puts it in. Dario Saric not really known for his long-distance ability, but all these big men on the Sixers have been working on their ability to shoot from long range. Embiid's made a few this season. Saric. Willie Reed has made a couple. As Morris can't finish. Reed the rebound. Here comes McConnell. Sixers up by 3 here. Zaire Smith gets it in the corner. At the scorer's table are most of the starters ready to come back in. Wilson Chandler loses it. Jaylen Brown coming the other way. Brown's been red hot. Now he's going to find Morris, who's going to be fouled hard by Saric, and he'll head to the free throw line. Morris got really knocked out of shape there. It looked like he was going to have an easy finish, and Saric got into him. First free throws for Morris, and the first one short. Big group substitution for both sides. Joining Morris on the court now will be Kyrie Irving, Hayward, Tatum, and Horford. At the time, Robert Williams remains on the bench. The whole starting lineup back in for the Sixers, who have now made 2 big group substitutions in this game. Back in are Fultz, Redick, Covington, Simmons, and Joel Embiid. Second one rattles home for Morris, so the Celtics trail 33-31, 7:12 to go. That was almost an inbound violation by Covington. He was already running before he threw it. Simmons now finds Covington. Fultz has some space back on the left wing. Let's see if they find him. They do. It's Embiid over to Fultz, and he hits. 3-pointer Markelle Fultz, who's definitely improved on that shooting form. And now Philadelphia leads at 36-31. Kyrie Irving. It's been quiet so far. Both Irving and Embiid have been quiet. It's been some of the unsung heroes as Fultz blocks Jason Tatum. Here comes Covington to the basket. He's going to lay it in. Falls hard, but just fine. And the Sixers have their biggest lead. They're up by 7 now. Packed crowd here in Philadelphia getting energized. Al Horford over to Jason Tatum. Back to Hayward. Horford sets the screen. Hayward goes around the left side. Step back from 11 feet. Doesn't go. Covington the rebound. Sixers can go up double figures with a 3 here. They definitely want that, as they're out-rebounding Boston 23-14, even though Embiid's had a quiet game so far. Redick over to Fultz. Markelle Fultz over to Ben Simmons. Simmons driving to the basket. Lays it up and in. 76ers lead 40-31 here with 5:44 to go in the second quarter. I think Brad Stevens needs to call a timeout, especially if the Sixers get it to double figures. Horford calling for the ball. Irving's got it on the left wing. He's going to find Tatum deep in the corner with J.J. Redick on him. Only 5 to shoot. Horford sets the screen, ends up with the ball, chucks one up, and can't hit. Ben Simmons the rebound. Here comes Redick. It's now out a 10 rebound margin between Philly and Boston. Simmons guarded by Horford. Fultz comes around. Covington out to Redick in the deep corner. 5 to shoot. Embiid calling for it. Redick's got Horford all over him. Can't hit. Embiid tried to throw it back in, but one problem, he didn't have a ball to do it with. Morris grabs it. Here comes Kyrie Irving. Irving drives. Fouled by Embiid. That's 2 on Joel, and Kyrie Irving will shoot free throws. So the Celtics next game, they'll take on a very strong team in the Utah Jazz, unbeaten so far this season, including a victory at home against the Warriors. High Waluigi time as Kyrie Irving puts the first one in, 40-32. A change. Robert Williams is going to come in for Marcus Morris as he'll take a seat. Morris had been in since basically the midway point in the first quarter. Oh, hi, Donovan. Second free throw drops for Kyrie. 40-33 now. Here comes Markelle Fultz, guarded by Kyrie Irving. 4:37 to go here in the second quarter in the third annual Pillsbury Thanksgiving Classic here on WUB Network, America's sports leader. Ben Simmons working on Williams. Simmons really trying to post him up. Whoa, that was a weird one. He gets the rebound, though, and finishes on the finger roll. Ben Simmons threw that first one up underhanded. As the Sixers now lead by 9 again, 4:11 to go in the second quarter. Irving working on Fultz. What a crossover! Step back 3, but he can't finish it off. Embiid the rebound, and my goodness, Markelle Fultz was fooled on that one. Kyrie almost had a highlight reel play right there. Here's Simmons. Embiid's been trying to get this ball, but just isn't really getting it. But he is going to help his teammate get free for three, but Redick can't hit, even though he had the big opening. Here's Gordon Hayward. Hayward over to Irving. Kyrie backs up to the logo. Gordon Hayward, a deep three, not going to go. Simmons the rebound. Here comes Covington. Robert Covington met by Gordon Hayward. Covington finds Embiid inside. Now over to Simmons inside. Can't finish. Simmons the rebound. Misses, and Robert Williams grabs it. Kyrie Irving coming the other way. Something we'll talk about at halftime is just how quiet Joel Embiid has been in this game after that incredible performance that you can read about in the video description. And the Celtics end a big drought there as Kyrie Irving hits from three. It's 42-36 now with 3 minutes to go till halftime. Ben Simmons, tipped pass, stolen by Hayward. He is all alone going to the basket, and he throws it down with two hands. And just like that, the Celtics are back within 4 when the Sixers had countless opportunities to stretch this to double digits. Simmons working on Williams. He lays it up and in after a nice scamper on the baseline. 13 points for Ben Simmons, shooting 50% for the field. Definitely carrying the Sixers starting lineup that has been scuffling so far. Kyrie Irving working on Fultz. Oh, what a dribble move. Irving finishes. Markelle Fultz is having all kinds of problems here trying to guard Kyrie Irving. Fultz bounces inside to Simmons. Embiid's just setting screens. They're not really even having him shoot. Redick rams one off the side of the backboard. Here comes Kyrie. Final 2 minutes of the first half. Gordon Hayward, guarded by Covington. Stripped and stolen by Robert Covington. All alone, Robert Covington lays it up and in, and the Sixers are back up by 6. 46-40 the score. Here's Kyrie Irving across the timeline. Al Horford guarded by Embiid. A very low-scoring first half here. Horford inside. Hayward fouled, gets it in, and the foul on Robert Covington, and he can cut it to a single possession game. Brett Brown does not look too pleased with that. Nice pass there by Horford. Really faked out Embiid. I think Embiid thought he was going for the shot and didn't really realize Hayward was so close to the basket. Free throw drops for Gordon Hayward. It's now 46-43, final 90 seconds of play here in the first half. Markelle Fultz with it, guarded by Kyrie Irving. Over to Covington on the right side. Covington comes around Hayward. Shot up, no, and a slam from Joel Embiid. First big offensive splash from Joel in this game, and the Sixers lead by 5. Kyrie over to Joel Embiid. Pardon me, to Al Horford. Wrong center. Robert Williams. Hayward comes free on the screen, and he rattles home the 3. Gordon Hayward, as Ben Simmons has been carrying Philly, Gordon Hayward has been going off for Boston. Final minute of the second quarter. It's only a 2-point game. It's been close the whole way as Covington can't finish. Rebound slips through Embiid's hands, and now here comes Tatum. Tatum the floater to tie, no, too strong. Ben Simmons the rebound, here comes Robert Covington. Ben Simmons with the ball. Makes a nice dribble move. Inside Embiid, can't finish, he's too strong. Here comes Irving, 7 seconds separate shot and game clock. Tatum throws one up. Rush shot there, Williams the rebound. He finishes, and we're tied. Robert Williams ties it. Shot clock is off. We're tied at 48. Markelle Fultz guarded by Kyrie Irving. Fultz is going to let it dribble. 10 seconds here in the first half. Fultz comes around the screen from Redick. Back to J.J. Redick. 5 seconds. Embiid with it. Now Simmons off Horford. Fader doesn't go off the rim twice, and that's halftime. We head to halftime. We knew this would be a fun game. Deadlocked at halftime. Let's send it to David Aldridge.
Kevin, here with Brad Stevens. Coach, what did you think of your team's energy in the first half?
I think the energy's fine. I thought we did look a little gassed at the end of that first stint for some of our starters, but I thought for the most part it was good.
Thanks very much, Coach. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, so a very exciting first half. Interesting to see what Ernie, Shaq, and Kenny Smith will have to say. We're tied at 48 at halftime. I'll see you back in a couple minutes.
It is a good game we have here after one half of play. Everybody, welcome back for our halftime show. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, and Kenny Smith. For the 76ers, the first quarter was pretty even. The biggest lead they were able to get out to during the first period was 6 points. They couldn't hold on to the slim lead they had at the start of the second quarter and headed into the locker room with the game all knotted up. Let's start with you, Shaq. What'd you think about the 76ers?
Well, I thought the one bright spot was the effort on the glass. Several times when momentum was sliding, getting a timely rebound really lifted them. The strong work on the glass is key because that's how you string together a series of big stops.
Kenny, how'd you think the Celtics were playing?
Well, it's always a little bit of a challenge playing on the road, but they came in mentally prepared and physically prepared. The energy in the arena was fierce, but they didn't cave in.
That's it for halftime, as the second half is just about to get underway.
All right, a thank you to Ernie Johnson, Kenny Smith, and Shaquille O'Neal for providing the halftime show. Before we get to the second half, though, we are going to look at the box score as the teams get ready to get back going here in the city of brotherly love. On Black Friday, it was definitely busy at all the shopping joints here in Philly. Gordon Hayward has been on fire. As we'll take a look at some more statistics. 17 points for Hayward. First, let's look at Boston and who's been carrying this team. 17 points, then 13 for Jaylen Brown off the bench. Kyrie Irving has added 7 and 2 assists. Tatum with 6 as well. Nobody else has more than 1 field goal. Horford and Baines, neither of them have scored. That's a bit of a surprise. As for Philadelphia, Ben Simmons has 13 points and 6 rebounds. And the next highest scoring starter is Covington at 7. Embiid only 4 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. You'd expect much more after that big first game he had, where he had the double-double in the first quarter. J.J. Redick has been held scoreless. That's a notable. As the starters are in, we're ready to get started. You will not want to miss the final 24 minutes. Gets free and jumps and hits from 18, and that's a nice way to start here for Boston as they lead by 2 early on in the third quarter. Here's Ben Simmons, guarded by Robert Williams. There's Markelle Fultz. Fultz hits in the corner. Each team with a nice jumper off a screen, and we're tied at 50. Celtics shooting 46%. Sixers just a tick below that. Robert Williams with it. Inside Tatum. And a 3-second violation on Hayward, who tried to escape, but he did not get out in time. There's Embiid last season, some nice stats for him. Sixers had a disappointing campaign, but that rebuilding stage seems to be over this year. Celtics last season in the season sim made it to the playoffs, but were eliminated in 3 games by the Magic, who really surprised everyone, and even forced Cleveland to 6 games, the only tough series they played in, as Simmons over Williams can't finish. Here comes Kyrie Irving the other way. Kyrie over to Robert Williams. Williams double-teamed. Irving is left wide open for 3. That was a mistake. I don't know why they were double-teaming Robert Williams out on the perimeter when he's never taken a 3 in his career. Celtics lead by 3 now. Here's Markelle Fultz. Embiid tries to set a screen. Embiid's been held to 4 points. Horford's done a good job guarding Joel. 5 to shoot. Fultz. 17-footer, no. Robert Williams the rebound. Here comes Boston coming out strong here to start the second half. Tatum, mid-range J, in and out. Horford the rebound, no. Horford again, no. He's going to kick out Hayward, wide open 3. They're going to say foot on the line again, so a 2-pointer for Hayward. 19 points for Gordon Hayward, and the Celtics lead by 5, 2 minutes into the third quarter. Remember, the Sixers have not lost yet this season. Markelle Fultz over to Simmons. Simmons to Redick. Redick on the low block. He still hasn't been able to make a shot yet. Horford the rebound. Here comes Tatum. Hayward again, wide open, and another bucket for Gordon Hayward. He's got 21. And the Celtics have their biggest lead. They are up by 7 and coming out strong out of the locker room. They've outscored Philly 9-2 in the third quarter so far. J.J. Redick makes a man miss. Ben Simmons left wide open inside in the paint, and he puts it in. Ben Simmons continuing his attack here. He's got 15. Here's Kyrie over to Al Horford. Stolen by Markelle Fultz. It's a 3-on-3 even break. Fultz over to Embiid. Embiid the mid-range J. Splashes it. 6 points for Joel Embiid. Markelle Fultz with the nice find. It's 57-54 with 8:58 to go in the third quarter. Here's Kyrie Irving guarded by Fultz. Between the circles is Irving. Makes a nice crossover on Fultz. And Fultz strips it. Markelle Fultz with the steal. It's a 3-on-1 break. Redick with the jumper. Finally sticks one. And the Celtics' 7-point lead quickly evaporates. And the crowd is on their feet here in Philly. Irving over to Hayward. It is loud here in Philadelphia for the Pillsbury Thanksgiving Classic. The Syracuse Nationals unis. As Horford the fader misses. Rebound Simmons. Here comes Covington. Sixers can take the lead back here. Ben Simmons to Fultz in the deep right corner. Fultz thinks about the three. Covington comes over. Hayward now on him. 10 to shoot. Embiid now going to post up Horford. Jumper. In and out. Almost stuck that one. Irving the rebound. Kyrie thinking about coast to coast. Crossing up Fultz all over the place. And he's going to be fouled, and that's going to be on Embiid. That's now 3 on Joel Embiid. And Irving will shoot free throws. Joel Embiid frustrated with the call. And here comes Kyrie in his second season with the Celtics. 2 seasons ago, 3 seasons actually, he won the championship with the Cavs. Remember in the season Sims, Cavs and Warriors matched up 3 straight seasons. Cavs won the first, Warriors won the last 2. Before that was the season the Celtics not make it to the finals. The Heat beat them in the conference finals and ended up losing to Dallas in the NBA finals. And before that, Sacramento and Memphis met back-to-back years, with Sacramento winning once and Memphis winning once, both won 7 games, and LeBron was on Sacramento at that time. Markelle Fultz the fader. Yes, that's the nice rattle home for Markelle Fultz. That's 7 points, just 3 of 7 from the field. Up and down day for Markelle for sure. Jaylen Brown now in the game. It's now Irving, Baines, Brown, Rozier, and Morris the 5 for Boston as he finishes and one. Kyrie Irving absorbs the contact, puts it in, and draws the foul. Al Horford's going to check in. Aaron Baines is going to head to the bench. Philly's group right now is Sarge, Willie Reed, Zaire Smith, Markelle Fultz, and TJ McConnell. Anyway, Celtics now up by 4, 7-12 to go in the third quarter. Here's Zaire Smith. Wilson Chandler, who was the strongest off the bench for Philly, remains on the bench at the moment. Fultz comes around Irving and finishes on the low block. 9 points for Markelle Fultz, 4 coming here in quarter number 3. And the Sixers keeping pace with Boston, although they've been strong out of the break. Here's Al Horford over to Jaylen Brown in the corner. A little too strong there. First missed 3 of the game for Jaylen Brown. Here's Zaire Smith back to McConnell. Markelle Fultz with it. Inside Willie Reed. Reed, fader. What a move by Willie Reed. And he finishes, and we're tied at 62. This game is going to go down to the wire. We are excited to bring it to you here on WUB Network. Marcus Morris with it. Over to Jaylen Brown. Back to Morris. Screen set. Here comes Morris. Morris throws it down and rattles the rim with the slam. Drives through the double team and with the tomahawk right-handed jam. Halfway through quarter number 3 now. 64-62 Boston. TJ McConnell over to Willie Reed on the wing. Willie Reed actually thought about a 3 there. Fultz now on the wing. Tipped pass. Horford grabs it before it goes out of bounds. Now Jaylen Brown can run. Jaylen Brown. Crossover on Fultz. Irving the mid-range. That's going to go. And the Celtics back up by 4. 19 points now for Kyrie Irving as he sinks one along the baseline. Here's Markelle Fultz. Saric comes across and throws it down with a two-handed jam. The Sixers, or should we say the Syracuse Gnats, 66-64. Here's Irving guarded by Fultz. Kyrie inside. Horford can't finish. Willie Reed with a nice defensive effort. Zaire Smith over to Fultz. Fultz driving to the basket, lays it up and in on the nice floater, and we're tied at 66. Markelle Fultz with 11 points now. Irving over to Marcus Morris. Under 5 minutes in the third quarter. This one's really going to come down to the nitty-gritty. Jaylen Brown. Another 3 for Jaylen Brown, and Brett Brown wants to talk it over. 4:46 to go in the third quarter. It's 69-66 Celtics. We'll be back in a moment here on WUB Network, America's sports leader. So a reminder, Sunday, December 9th, the NPCS regular season begins again. The Daytona 500. Brad Keselowski won last season, but the legendary 3-43 will lead the 40-car field to green. Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Danica Patrick make their final NASCAR starts, while William Byron makes his much-anticipated Cup Series debut. All that and more in the 2018-19 Daytona 500, December 9th, right here on WUB Network, America's sports leader. Wilson Chandler's going to replace Zaire Smith. Kyrie Irving's going to come out for Boston. Marcus Smart's going to check in for him. Markelle Fultz remains in the game. So with Fultz and McConnell both playing, I guess J.J. Redick or Simmons is going to be the point guard in the fourth quarter because they're going to need to rest. And McConnell's going to pick up the foul here as he fouls Marcus Smart. 2 shots coming here for Smart. Look at that, only shooting 28% this season. That's why they moved him out of the starting lineup, and he barely finishes that free throw. Anyway, it's a 4-point lead for Boston. Celtics have led by as much as 7. Sixers have led by as much as 9. Second free throw misses. Wilson Chandler the rebound. Chandler over to McConnell. Back to Markelle Fultz. You will not want to miss this finish. It is coming down to the wire here in Philadelphia at the Wells Fargo Center. Bad miss there. Marcus Smart with it. Redick heading over towards the scorer's table for the Sixers. Here's Jaylen Brown. Crossover. Horford wide open on the low block, and he hits from the elbow. First points finally for Big Al, and the Celtics lead 72-66. Both big men have been very quiet in this game. Quite a contrast from their first matchup this season. Wilson Chandler over to TJ McConnell. McConnell over to Chandler. Inside Reed. Fultz. Chandler. Chandler 3. No, and rebound is taken in by Big Al. Celtics can possibly take their biggest lead of the game. It's Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown again from 3. He's hit 5 from long range. 17 points. Actually, no, 19 points, I believe, for Jaylen Brown so far. 75-66. Celtics lead it. Sixers in dire need of some points. Markelle Fultz misses. Rebound Brown. Jaylen Brown running it. He's going to stop it right at the top of the key. Finds Terry Rozier over to Smart. Celtics can be the first team to take a double-digit lead in this one. Brown gets around the screen. Jaylen Brown lays it up and in. Jaylen Brown has been going off. What a game from Jaylen Brown off the bench for Boston. Here's Markelle Fultz. Sixers really just need points, and they need them now. TJ McConnell working on Rozier. 5 to shoot. Now he's going to have to chuck up something ridiculous. Nick McConnell, the deep 3, and he hits it. Big shot for TJ McConnell. 77-69 now. 2:14 to go in the third quarter. Marcus Smart, met by Fultz. It's Smart, Horford, Rozier, Jaylen Brown, and Morris for Boston. As Brown again from three, not going to go. Sarge, McConnell, Willie Reed, Markelle Fultz, Wilson Chandler for Philly. Remember, both teams wearing their 1950s throwbacks for this Pillsbury Thanksgiving Classic. McConnell goes around. McConnell with room. Rattles it home. A couple of big shots from TJ McConnell. Remember, if you're new, remember to drop a like to the video and subscribe here to WUB Network if you're new to the channel. We're getting close to 600 subscribers. Morris over to Terry Rozier. Rozier loses it, gets it back, crosses over McConnell, spin move, and finishes. Nice shot by Rozier, and another timeout's going to be called here by Brett Brown. So now make it 1:20 to go here in the third quarter. The score is now 79-71 Boston. We'll be back in a moment here on WUB Network.
Probably looking to change it up a bit. Nothing wrong with that. You got to be flexible. When something isn't working, you adjust, you modify.
Some changes for both sides. We'll get you caught up.
Some changes for Philadelphia.
First for Philadelphia, it's now Ben Simmons, Wilson Chandler, Redick, Saric, and Joel Embiid. Celtics going with
And then for Boston.
Smart, Robert Williams, Hayward, Horford, and Tatum. Here comes Tatum after the strip. Tatum going to the basket, puts it up, and finishes. And the Celtics lead by 10 with under a minute to go in the third quarter. Celtics trying to end the Sixers' unbeaten season and tie them atop the Eastern Conference Atlantic Division. Here's Redick. Makes a nice move, finishes. Gets the nice roll. Here's Smart now. 20 seconds separate shot and game clock. Smart guarded by Simmons. Williams sets a screen. Smart just goes completely around and throws it down with the right hand. Some very slow-moving defense here in the third quarter from the Sixers, who have now surrendered 35 points in the quarter to them as Embiid misses from three. Joel Embiid tries his first from long range, but can't finish. A steal by Simmons, and now a 3-on-2 break. Here comes Simmons, but he's going to slow it down. Shot clock is off. Redick, though, is going to chuck up the three and finishes. 7 points for J.J. Redick. They've all come here in the third quarter. 5 seconds. Sixers would love a stop here. Hayward from way downtown nails it. What a shot. That's a big one. And the Celtics will carry a double-digit lead into the fourth quarter. A 38-point third quarter capped off by a missile from long range by Gordon Hayward. 86-76 Boston. Can they finish it off in the Pillsbury Thanksgiving Classic? We'll find out when we come back. Let's hear what Brad Stevens had to say in the huddle.
Hey, we're doing so many good things on offense. Keep moving it. Keep looking for it. We just have to challenge as well as we can down here.
And Brad Stevens.
So the Celtics scored 24 in each of the first two quarters, but then explode for 38 in the third quarter. And now the Sixers, down by 10, will have to play from behind here in the fourth quarter. Maybe Joel Embiid, who's been held to just 8 points so far, can finally step up. Simmons over to Covington, and no good. Rebound Chandler, he puts it in. So Simmons, Redick, Chandler, Covington, and Embiid are the five. Smart, Williams, Tatum, Horford, and Hayward the five for Boston. Tatum over to Horford. Williams over to Tatum. 5 to shoot. Tatum posting him up. Can't finish. Williams the rebound. Here's Horford the jumper. And Al Horford finishes. Every time the Sixers seem to have an answer, the Celtics have a counter. So here's J.J. Redick with it. Redick guarded by Tatum. Over now to Robert Covington. Simmons backing in. On Smart. Embiid. Yes. Simmons with the assist. Third assist for Ben Simmons, and Joel Embiid makes it an 8-point game again. Kyrie Irving on the bench, as is Markelle Fultz. Tatum, fader. Yes, nice bounce off the back iron for Jason Tatum. And the 20-year-old is shushing the crowd here at Wells Fargo Center. Ben Simmons in the corner. Inside, nice finish at the basket by Wilson Chandler. Wilson Chandler's been on fire off the bench. 8-point lead for Boston. Here's Smart with it. Over to Tatum. Tatum guarded by Redick. Back to Hayward. Hayward from the free throw line. No good. Celtics finally miss one. Sixers need to take advantage of this one. Covington with it. Out to Simmons. Inside Embiid. Working on Smart. Surprised he didn't try to post up Smart there. Simmons over to Chandler. Chandler straight on. No good. Misses. Blown opportunity to cut into the deficit. Here's Hayward. Another miss. Simmons the rebound. Simmons almost stripped by Tatum there. Here comes Covington to the basket. Covington loses it. Embiid gets it back and puts it in. Joel Embiid finally into double figures. He's got 10 points. 8 have come in the paint. Fultz and Irving both at the scorer's table. Whichever point guard is firing on cylinders better, I think, is going to be the one who can carry his team to victory here. 9:12 to go. Al Horford over to Smart. 5 to shoot. Smart guarded by Simmons. Stolen by Chandler. It's Simmons on the break. Ben Simmons throws it down. He jumped from the free throw line. Oh my goodness. Ben Simmons just took flight. Let's go back and watch this one again. Look where he jumped from. Inside the circle is when he planted, and he flew for the dunk. Arguably the dunk of the year candidate. Listen to the rim shake here. My goodness, what a slam by Simmons, and what a surge of momentum for Philly. They're back within 4 with 8:48 to go here in the Pillsbury Thanksgiving Classic. It is getting good here. Horford posting up Embiid, and he finishes off the glass. Horford now with 4 points, and it's 92-86 Boston. Here comes Ben Simmons. Simmons guarded by Marcus Smart. Embiid sets the screen. Simmons loses it, gets it back. Horford trying to wrestle him for it. Simmons now crosses him over and lays it up and in. 19 points for Ben Simmons, a 9 of 17 shooting, along with 9 rebounds and 4 assists. Here's Gordon Hayward with it. Hayward over to Marcus Smart. Smart back to Hayward. Hayward gets free for 3. Yes! Nice bounce off the rim, and they're going to say another foot on the line for Hayward. He's leading all scorers with 26. Simmons the leading scorer for Philly with 19. Celtics actually have 3 with 19 or more, as Chandler buries the 3 and makes it a 3-point game. 16 off the bench for Wilson Chandler, who has had a great game so far. 94-91 Boston. 7:31 to go. Williams stolen by Embiid. Here comes Ben Simmons the other way. Simmons! No, Embiid couldn't make the throwdown either. Hort for the rebound. Here comes Tatum across the half-court line. Smart in the corner. Crosses over on Redick. Smart to Horford. Big Al guarded by Ben Simmons. 5 to shoot. Marcus Smart with it. Smart. What's Smart going to do? Smart a 3. Short. Hort for the rebound, and they'll get a new 24. Smart over to Big Al. Horford back to Marcus Smart. Robert Williams comes on the screen. Still Irving and Fultz have not had an opportunity to get in, and we're down to 6:42. Horford sets a screen. Smart goes around. Smart allowed to just drive right in and throw it down. Celtics lead by 5. 6.5 to go. Timeout, Brett Brown. 6.5 to go here in the final quarter. It's Celtics 96, Sixers 91. We'll be back in a moment on WUB Network.
Gordon Hayward with another strong contribution so far in this one.
I don't think the defense has an answer for him, Kevin. I mean, he's simply going off right now, knocking down everything.
The 76ers making a switch here.
So Kyrie Irving's checked back in, as has Markelle Fultz. All 10 starters, actually no, Marcus Smart's in for Tatum actually. Bit of a surprise there. Wilson Chandler has come out for Philly as Embiid open. Yes, 12 points for Joel Embiid. It's 96-93, 6:11 to go. Embiid definitely not that dominant self he was the first time these teams matched up, but still having a solid game and performing when it matters most here in crunch time. Already 6 points in the final quarter. He had 6 in the first 3 combined. Smart working on Redick. Smart can't finish. Redick the rebound. A 3-pointer can tie the game. Remember, the Celtics scored 38 in the third quarter to take a 10-point lead after it was tied at the halftime break. Fultz in the corner. Can't hit. Robert Williams the rebound. We're past halfway here in the final quarter. It's almost over, the third annual Pillsbury Thanksgiving Classic. Kyrie Irving over to Gordon Hayward. Hayward guarded by Robert Covington. Hayward in the corner. That's Big Al. Can't hit, too strong. Covington the rebound. Here comes Robert Covington the other way. Inside to Fultz. Fultz over Hayward. The finger roll is good. 96-95. High faded night. Final 5 minutes in the Pillsbury Thanksgiving Classic. It's Celtics 96, 76ers 95. Robert Williams with it. Bounce pass inside to Smart. Smart finishes. A little context, the Sixers are unbeaten so far this season and beat the Celtics the last time these teams faced off. Celtics have lost twice this season, but a win can tie them with Philly for a share of the Atlantic Division lead. Covington over to Fultz. Fultz is short from 3 again. He's got to stop chucking those. Here comes Marcus Smart. 4:22 to go here. Kyrie Irving. Horford sets the screen. Irving goes around the left side. Horford in the corner. Big Al with Embiid all over him. Back to Kyrie. 5 to shoot. Irving. Horford. Irving the fadeaway 3. He didn't even need to fade, and I think that's what messed him up. Ben Simmons the rebound. Here comes Redick. Sixers really need some points here. Covington almost ran himself out of bounds. You can tell these players are excited, and it's loud in here. It's hard to tell the shots here at the Wells Fargo Center. Embiid with it. Embiid driving inside. Fakes twice on Williams and then finishes. 14 points for Embiid. A reminder for those who don't know, this is the third Pillsbury Thanksgiving Classic, and the teams wear throwback uniforms. Those Celtics unis go back to the 1960s when they won 7 championships in 10 seasons. Sixers wearing their original Syracuse Nats uniforms from the 40s. As Marcus Smart working on Redick. How about Marcus Smart producing in crunch time? 9 points for Smart. Celtics lead 100-97, 3:12 to go. First season of the Pillsbury Thanksgiving Classic, there were 2 games. Warriors beat the Thunder. Timberwolves beat the Cavs. And then last season, Jimmy Butler scored 52 to help Timberwolves beat these Sixers. As here comes Hayward after the miss. Hayward the fader. Yes! And the Celtics lead by 5 with 2:48 to go. Still a very close game. Really could go anybody's way. This has been a very fun game to watch. Back and forth all night long. Ben Simmons working hard on Robert Williams. Simmons, jumper. He needed that one and he gets it to fall. It's a 3-point game again. Sixers trying to keep the unbeaten start to the season alive. 2:20 to go. Horford sets the screen on Fultz. Irving goes around. Horford open for 3. No good. Rebound Joel Embiid. He hasn't grabbed many tonight, but that was a big one. He hasn't grabbed his 28 like he did the last time these two teams played. Here's Fultz. Over to Simmons. 2 minutes to go. Ben Simmons to Embiid. Embiid spins on Williams. Can't finish but draws the foul on Robert Williams. And Joel Embiid will go to the line for two. Embiid nearly finished there, but for a big man, he is a good free throw shooter. Let's see what he can do. If the Celtics do win this, their big story has to be Jaylen Brown off the bench, hitting 5 3-pointers. Really helped them go on some surges to erase the Sixers' lead in the second quarter, and then to go up 10 in the third when the starters were resting. That drops 102 to 100. Our most viewers all game right now. We're glad everybody's tuning in. Drop a like, subscribe, and enjoy the finish of the Pillsbury Thanksgiving Classic. Kyrie Irving misses. Here comes Markelle Fultz. Fultz puts it up in the basket. He gets it to fall, and we're tied at 102. Markelle Fultz going off. 1:37 to go. We're deadlocked at 102. Each team has 2 timeouts and some fouls to give. Kyrie over to Gordon Hayward. Every possession is critical now. Celtics 10-point lead in the third quarter doesn't matter. Hayward's going to be shoved by Simmons, and he'll shoot free throws. Bad, really stupid foul there by Ben Simmons. And now Gordon Hayward's going to go to the line. Simmons should have just let him go there, I think. Yes, cue the Jaws music indeed. First free throw drops for Hayward, leading scorer in the game. He's got 27. Second free throw also drops. 104-102. 1:23 to go here in Philadelphia. Sixers in their red and gold. Celtics in their white. Both teams in throwbacks for the third Pillsbury Thanksgiving Classic. The first season's game ended on a buzzer beater by Kevin Durant. What'll happen here? Ben Simmons keeping it close as he hits the hook shot. 23 for Ben Simmons. We're tied at 104. Final minute in Philadelphia. Will we go to overtime? Or will someone take control? Will the Sixers remain undefeated? Or can the Celtics steal one in the city of brotherly love? What a shot by Hayward! Fading off balance, and he finishes. Timeout, Philadelphia. What a shot by Gordon Hayward. We got to capture that one. That'll be in the highlights. My goodness. So you look at your player of the game, Gordon Hayward, 32 points, 4 rebounds, and that last shot was big. Hayward falling out of bounds, and he hits. And look at some of these plays he's been making in this one. Making some plays under the rim. Finding the open man in Kyrie Irving. Finding the open three. He's hit a few from long range, and that last shot was big. So the Sixers will have it with 50.8 on the clock. Covington, Fultz, Simmons, Redick, Embiid against Williams, Horford, Irving, Smart, and Hayward. Redick with it. Smart on him. Inside to Simmons. Backing in on Williams. Simmons connects. Timeout now, Brad Stevens with 36 seconds. We're tied again at 106. It's Hayward versus Simmons late in the game in Philadelphia. Last time it was Embiid versus Tatum going head to head. Tatum, it looked like, went off with an ankle injury earlier in the fourth quarter. He was hobbling around and he came out of the game, and we have not seen him since. We've seen Marcus Smart in. 36 seconds. This is going to be big. Inside to Hayward. 12 seconds separate shot and game clock. Each team has a timeout and a foul to give. Kyrie Irving. Bad pass. Stolen Ben Simmons. Here comes Markelle Fultz. 4 seconds separate shot and game clock. Will they let it run down? They will. This is a big, critical possession. All the momentum has gone to Philadelphia. 5 to shoot. Redick's got it. J.J. Redick inside. It's going to be Simmons. Simmons at the basket. Puts it in off the glass. Ben Simmons has scored the Sixers' last 8 points. And they lead by 2 with 4 seconds to go. What a shot by Ben Simmons. My goodness. Ben Simmons with clutch in his jeans tonight. My goodness. And now here we go. 4 seconds. Can the Celtics tie it or win it? Hayward, Irving for the win. Yes, he hits with 1 second to go. Kyrie Irving hits the 3. The reason we're capturing this is for the highlights, by the way. My goodness. Kyrie Irving hits a 3 with 1 second. We're going to look at a replay of that because let's just take a look at how that play actually went out. How did Kyrie Irving get so open? That's my question. Let's just watch Kyrie Irving off this play. So, it starts out off the inbound. Williams gets the ball. Irving's going to move to the basket and completely fakes out Markelle Fultz and gets open over here and hits. And watch the Celtics' reaction. They knew it. Watch the bench get electric on the sidelines. Jaylen Brown loving it. And now the Sixers will have 1 second. What a change. But this is definitely enough time to get a good shot up, and they only need a 2. Now, do they give it to Simmons, Fultz, or Embiid? You got 3 good options here. If it were me, I'd find Simmons. He's had the hot hand the whole 4th quarter. But if not, Embiid is my option. Fultz is just too streaky. The Pillsbury Thanksgiving Classic will end here. 1 second. Who's going to get it? Got to get it to somebody. It's going to be Redick for the win. No, he misses, and that's the game. Ben Simmons was heavily guarded by Williams and Horford, and the Sixers fall as Kyrie Irving comes up clutch at the very end. What a game in Philadelphia. The Pillsbury Thanksgiving Classic lives up to the hype, and the 2 games in Philly this season between the Celtics and the Sixers end up a split. Let's send it to David Aldridge, who's on the sideline.
Thanks, Kevin. Gordon, a good bounce-back performance for you tonight.
Yeah, still not where I want to be, but it's definitely a better game for me and a better game for the team. We're glad we got the win.
I'm sure it was much needed. Gordon.
Definitely a good game. He only scored 8 points in the last one, a loss to the Pacers. And what a Pillsbury Thanksgiving Classic. We thought Simmons won it with 4 seconds, but Gordon Hayward to Kyrie Irving. Irving for 3 to win it. Right there. That was the dagger with 1 second to go, and the Celtics win it 109-108. What a fantastic game. We're excited to see 6 people tune in at the very end. So Ben Simmons with 27 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. 4th quarter, he scored 12 of those, 27. 15 points for Markelle Fultz. Also 15 for Embiid. Bit of a drop-off for him in this one. As for the Celtics, 32 for Gordon Hayward. 22, including the dagger for Kyrie Irving. Jaylen Brown with 21 points. Really hope you enjoyed the Pillsbury Thanksgiving Classic, the 3rd annual one. We can't wait for next season. So now, historically, the first one, the 2 games, Timberwolves beat the Cavs, Warriors beat the Thunder, then the Timberwolves beat the Sixers, and now the Sixers are 0-2. As they fall at home to the Celtics, they fall to 3-1 in the season. Celtics promote themselves to 4-2. Sixers' next game will be against the Brooklyn Nets, while the Celtics venture home to take on the Jazz. I'm Eddie Kalegi. We'll see you next time here on WUB